Life is good. Life is good. And it's not necessarily because things just get fixed or that everything is perfect or that everything is even where you want it. It's just good. And talking to someone like right here that's in the midst of it as the shine pours down on me, I feel a little bit like an angel. Here's the thing, here's the story is welcome to the Black Cat Energy Podcast. It's not what you expect. And if you're here, you are exactly where you need to be. You have found your tribe, your spot, your community, your girl. You have found it. You are where you need to be. Before I get into this episode, which is all about divine, perfect timing and how things just show up for that black cat, that magnetic person, woman, man, doesn't matter, how things just will align when you align, divine timing. Before we get into that, let me just tell you on the Black Cat Energy Podcast, we will smile and laugh and just be overwhelmed with joy. We will cry. Like you can see, I got some crying that I was doing. I was doing happy tears for the first time in so long. I was brought to tears because of joy. Yes! Sorry for that clap on a podcast. I know that is politically not correct, but it is what it is. That's just the energy, that's the vibe, that's the flow today. But sometimes we're going to cry, and it's not going to be so happy. It's more like deep emotional release. Ooh, been there recently. Just go check out the last few episodes. Been there recently. And then sometimes we're just going to have this enlightenment feeling, like this kind of the sunshine that is coming down through this window on this podcast. We're just going to have that vibe, that feeling of perfect alignment. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of story time and why we are here today on this beautiful, Miami type of vibe day. And it all has to do with the fact that when we're in our masculine, which is so needed at times, it is so needed, our masculine energy, which is our build and conquer and go get it type of energy, when we're there, we kind of want to force things and plan ahead. And what I have been figuring out is the more you try to plan, like really ahead, or, what's going to like definitely be the course of your day, the more resistance you build up to that because you lose the frequency of opportunity. We do not know what is best for us. Okay, kitties? We do not know. We're not actually feasibly capable of figuring out what's best for us. So we can plan, we can have goals, we can have dreams, aspirations. Of course, go for that. But we don't always know what's best for us. For instance, you may be like talking to Tom or whatever, Brad, Chad, Kevin, whatever, and think that he's like your soulmate and, be living as like dream girl quality. You got this. And Brad, Chad, Kevin, whatever, has some emotional baggage or some trauma to work out, or he cheated, whatever. Like, and you just, whoa, right? But it's like what you want, right? You know that you want to be in that loving relationship that's committed and building that empire, family, whatever it may be, right? Or it may be work and career and money, and you might have this paradigm, like, go back to like Earl Nightingale or Bob Proctor. I love their videos right now. I'm all about just that paradigm reset for the self-image, because a black cat has great self-image, self-concept, self-esteem. And when everything gets taken out of your life and eliminated, whether it's the relationship, it's the career, it's the job, it's it's the bank account going to negative, it's, losing your home, whatever it may be, right? When all that gets taken away, like, who are you still? Like, who do you belong to? Where are you connected? Like, that's the self-image that they do and the work that they do. And it all comes together because we don't always know what's best for ourselves. We know our feelings, we know where we want to go, where we want to be, and we kind of base how we get there on our previous experiences, which logically, you may be like, okay, A plus B in the past used to equal whatever, but that doesn't actually make sense logically. And it's definitely not how the divine timing works, because what got you somewhere in the past can no longer serve you for your future. It got you here, great. And if you love your life, amen, perfect, wonderful. But it can't maintain that. Ooh, I'm gonna be honest. And it definitely isn't gonna get you where you want to go next. And we're humans, right? Spiritual beings having human experience, whatever. But your previous knowledge of how things worked in the past will never get you to where you haven't been before. That how things happen, how you make money, how you find the perfect partner, how you achieve your health goals, whatever it be, it can't be based off of the past. Because if that was the case, then you'd already be there. Think about that just for a moment. If you are already where you wanted to be, then all of the previous experience you had would have already put you there. Clearly, there's a gap between where you want to be and where you are, and that means we got some information to collapse here. And that's where divine timing comes into play. So, bear with me now. Last night, I was at yoga. Loved it. I hadn't done yoga in over a month. I had some things I had to take care of because baby girl had fallen off the wagon. I had one wild year last year where just everything that I knew crashed down. It was like God burned it, said vacant lot, let's build a mansion next. You were living in this little house saying, this is good enough, I'm happy. Well, God was like, no, I created you for so much more. Burn it down. I clapped twice on this podcast. That is how I feel today. So burned it all down, broke my heart. I hurt so much. And it was just painstaking because I didn't think the pain was ever going to end. It broke me. And I needed a break. I'm so grateful that I had broke. And I'm going to tell you why. Because what is being built in these last 3 weeks, this 2025, I can authentically say is better. The miracles, the magic, the divine alignment and timing of what has happened in the last 3 weeks has surpassed anything I could imagine. And it wasn't anything I planned. It was all divine timing. Listening to the intuition of the black cat, reevaluating my self-image, how I want to show up in the world. It was magic. There's just no way to explain it other than divine timing. So here we go. If you want to hear all these awesome stories I've been having lately, rewatch the last 3 episodes. They are by far some of the craziest, most wonderful, miraculous stories I've had about black cat energy ever. Divine woman energy ever. Ever. And I've got one more that I'm not going to quite tell yet that's happening literally right now today, but I'm going to save that one because I may have a guest join me for the next one because things are wild right now. Wild, awesome. So here we go. Last night I was at yoga. I went to the experience. I hadn't done yoga in a while because I was holding in a lot of pain from what happened last year when I was working my tail end off to open up a yoga and dance studio. And God was like, again, you deserve more. I need to build something else for you. That is not your path, baby girl. Come on back, right? So I had a lot of pain because I love yoga. I love yoga. Girls love yoga. And it was a beautiful experience. It was like going and being hugged by a family member that you just knew, like, there's a Bible story about this, like, just that when the son comes home and you're like, oh, you've been missed, you're loved, come on back. It felt like that, and it was a beautiful teacher. I love her so much. She's actually here in the building, and she's a remarkable individual, and I don't know, I adore her. That's a whole different story. But my ex was there. And you guys know how it feels sometimes when you see your ex and you're like, you know. But at the end, like after like that initial shock, I was like, oh, I hope he's happy. I genuinely hope he's happy. Yeah, he fumbled me. Oh, he fumbled bad. He fumbled so bad. But I was like, literally, like, I sent out a prayer. I really sent out a prayer, and I was just like, I hope that he's finding healing, and I hope that he's on his journey, and I hope that he's experiencing good things. And even right now, let that be another prayer. And I know people are like, I don't like to pray for my exes. Okay, I will pray for my exes every day of the week because I believe that's the way. That's the way it should be. Like, send out hate, you get hate. Send out love, you get love. Okay? It is what it is. And I was just like, oh, I'm so at peace. And my flow was so perfect. But I had plans. Ooh, I had plans. I told you guys don't plan things. I had plans. I was going to go to a Bible study that was going to start at 7 o'clock. And it was across town. It was like a short little 15-minute walk. But I knew I was going to be late. I knew it because I was at yoga. And I was like, okay, better late than never, right? And I was just like, I'm going to go to a Bible study. So I walked my like pretty little butt after yoga to this building. It's another like, residential condominium building here. And I like go up and, it's supposed to be in one of the party rooms. Door shut, locked, knocked, nobody. I don't have the badge of this building. I can't, get into this room. Somebody had actually already let me up to that floor, but no one's there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And, I just been, in flow of what works, what doesn't work, And I was like, okay, well, I'll go back. I'll go back home, my home. And, I'll just study the Bible there. It'll be good, I'm good. So I start walking, and there's this church that's like, been, next door since I've been here, right? And I always thought about it and, been curious about it. It's a very pretty building. And ultimately, because I'm not Presbyterian, like I don't identify as Presbyterian, it's like, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna go in. But this particular moment, I swear it was like God tapped on my shoulder or feeling tapped on my shoulder and it's like, go in. Just go check it out. I love historic places. I love art and just beautiful buildings with beautiful interior design. Like that is something I vibe with. When I was in Europe last year, I was like, give me all the museums and churches. So I was like, I'll just go look. And I started hearing the music. And Baby Girl used to sing in like on stage and do all sorts of performances about 10 years ago. I just had the music album come out for my first album ever. It's on Spotify. It is a trance and acoustic folk type of album. Some love songs are in there, but also some empowerment songs, some like true self-love in there. And there is some songs about heartbreak in there because it is what it is, and that's what I was experiencing. And I love that I was able to heal through that creative process. But that's on Spotify, Air Kramer. Link in show notes. Link on Instagram, Air Kramer on Instagram too. Just shamelessly, unapologetically plugging myself in there. But nonetheless, here we go. I hear the music and I see the band on stage. And I just sit in like the third pew. There's not a lot of people in here, like maybe 10 at the most. Nobody's questioning me and my yoga mat, like at all. It's just like, There's random girl just walking, and I'm just watching them for a moment, and I recognize the song, and I'm like, wow. And I just have this flashback of when I was on stage at this old church singing, and I was just like, that feeling, that divine connected feeling, that intuitive channeling just flooded me to the point where I was like, oh my goodness. If this was church today, I've got the reminder. I'm looking at this beautiful building and I'm like, nice, beautiful. So I just said a quick thank you, not to anybody, just out loud, thank you, gratitude. I've been really practicing gratitude lately. And I get up, that sun's coming back through this window. It makes us look very holy on the virtual here. But I get up and I'm like, okay, so I begin to leave. It's late. Baby girl's tired too. Remember, I did yoga. I ran that morning and did weights that morning. I'm tired. It's been a long day. And plot twist. Ooh, plot twist. I start walking and I'm halfway out the door. I'm not even kidding. I'm halfway out the door. And this guy stops me and he goes, oh, are you here for the Bible study? And I looked at him so peculiar, so confused, peculiar. And I was like, no, I was actually supposed to go to a Bible study at this other place, One Miami or whatever. I don't even know why I said that name, to be honest with you. And he goes, no, you mean First Miami, right? We used to be called First Miami. And I was like, no. This Bible study was in a whole different building. And, for whatever reason, when I arrived, it was just closed and shut. And he goes, we have the 2030s upstairs. Come to Bible study. And I was like, what? I don't need, okay. Feminine energy, right? This man, healthy masculine, telling me what to do. Saying going upstairs to this Bible study. And I'm like, sure. I don't know you, but I'm following you. So I follow him and I get into this room and there's just this beautiful collection of people surrounded this huge table, maybe 15 to 25 people. I didn't count. And they start the message and I literally walk in and they're like, hey, we got one more. And they're like, they know each other mostly. I'm the stranger here. And I was just like, look, you don't understand how discombobulated I am right now at this moment. I am so confused. I was like, I'm not supposed to be here, but I guess I'm supposed to be here because that's how life has been going. It's am I supposed to be here? And I sit down and I engage with the conversation, and I kid you not, the messages that were shared via the Bible was awesome. And it was good parable. It was at Deuteronomy and all this jazz. And it really resonated with some of the things I was going through. But what really freaked me out was the questions after a Bible study that is kind of this round table. They literally brought up losing a company, going in a lawsuit, breakups, being in the hospital, just your whole life crashing down as their answers, as experiences that they had gone through across the table. And they had no idea that I had had all of those experiences last year. They got to have them, individually, which is awesome. I probably would have done a lot better if it would have been individually other than all at once. But nonetheless, they all shared how they got through their individual experiences in those levels and in those moments. And it was just astounding because it was they were giving me all of the answers through sharing and they had no idea. And it finally came back to me and I was like, fine, I will tell you the story of what happened to me in 2024 and how it brought me to my knees, but it led me back to my divine creator, my source to tap me in. I'm telling you, I was ready to end. I was done. I was exhausted. I was in so much pain. Literally, in a hospital. It was like I had lost what I felt like I had lost. It was really being removed. That is the key here. It felt like loss, but it was being removed, almost like a parasite or a leech on me. And that's why it's so ironic that the last part would be like my health, because it was literally like a hand coming down and just picking things off, like leeches, just picking leeches off of me, because that's what happened. 2024 is like the company, the home. I lost my home technically twice, or it was removed twice. It was like, nope, that one's not good enough. That one's not good enough. And then here I am at the top of this high rise in my old home, and it will always feel like home here. I love it here, but like leeches being pulled off. That relationship's not good enough. You deserve more, baby girl. You deserve more. You deserve someone that's going to treat you like gold. See your value to where you don't have to forgive them over and over and over because they love you. Baby girl, that wasn't love. He didn't love you. He wouldn't have done those things, right? That company wasn't the right company. You were thinking small, but you need to think big. Think into me, right? Same thing. Baby girl, this one was hard. Some things have to be removed. And they have to hurt. Because pain builds muscle. Pain builds character. Pain makes you strong enough. I was operating in princess energy. And some of us are. Some of us want princess treatment. Like, who doesn't want to be a princess sometimes, right? And, that's all dandy and lovely. And it was beautiful for, the experience I did have. But the removal, the destruction, the chaos, the phoenix of the ashes, that's because I wasn't meant to be a princess. And divine healing women that are as powerful as me and as powerful as you, powerful people, we can't take the princess route. Because we were born to be queens. My whole world crashed down. I lost all sorts of people. I had a lot of death last year happen in my life. And betrayal. Oh, the betrayal. Imagine, I hope you may have been here, you may have not. And if I could shield this from you, I would. But I also hope that you do experience this eventually. It sounds terrible, but bear with me. There was someone I loved more than I loved myself. Someone that, I truly would have done anything for. There was so much love there. And so much betrayal as a result. The betrayal needed to happen. And there was constant betrayal throughout the entire relationship, if I'm being honest. So much betrayal. But at the very end, that final, just complete annihilation needed to happen. And then the isolation after the betrayal, being in the hospital, literally not knowing if it comes next, if there is a new moment, do I die here type of energy. That isolation across the world had to happen for me to transform me. I'm a queen. And it's not because I'm entitled. It's not because I am better than. I am a queen through divine right. I earned my space. I went through so much darkness. Not even just last year, but my whole life. And God has a thing of like, when somebody's been hurt their whole life through different ways, like, and then you go and hurt them, this is like a warning, or maybe this will make you feel better. Like, don't hurt people that have already gone through hell. Don't hurt people that have already had to conquer life again. Like, I've been brought down to my knees so many times in my life. Just completely destroyed. Different ways. It's like preparations, believe it. I got a book called Model Stop Traffic. It will blow your mind. So, like, shameless plug right there, too. Don't hurt people that have been through pain already, like enormous amounts of pain from the world. Because those are God's people. Those are the universe's favorites. You hurt them, karma's coming. I don't have to worry. Karma's coming. Let go and, let God, universe, energy, XYZ. But nonetheless, divine timing comes back around. And sometimes it's not about, can you get through it? That was a huge part of it. Is like, sometimes as the sun comes back out and shines across my lovely little face, it's about surrender, flow, and can you stand back up? Because if you can stand back up and you can listen and let go, there's something so much more beautiful coming. And like I said, total teaser alert, because something is happening right now as I have been sharing this message with you that is the next step, the next story I get to tell you all. So that's divine timing for you guys. That's just everything. Okay, my kitties, my queens. Ooh, I should not call you guys kitties anymore, right? Are we cats? Are we like lionesses? Ooh, that could be good. Black lionesses, black tigers, black panthers, jaguars. Ooh.